Real estate team here at Berkshire Hathaway Home Service Ambassador Real Estate Company. My name is Mark Wehner II, team leader here at Champions Real Estate Team. Thank you for joining us. We're on here a little later. I had a go have fun with a kindergarten field trip over at Harvest Moon Pumpkin Patch up in Oakland, Nebraska. So if you're looking for a different kind of pumpkin patch to check out, great place. The owners up there opened it up special for our kindergartners because we had to postpone it from last week in our nice rainy weather that we had up there was supposed to have. But anyways. So yeah, so if you want to check them out, they're up at Oakland, just about a couple miles north of Oakland. So probably about hour or so drive from the Omaha metro area in that regard. So anyways, our quick tip for the day. When I was kind of taking a look at kind of equity in some of my clients' houses and things of that sort, if you bought a with a loan less than 20%, you would have private mortgage insurance or PMI. So that would be an additional payment, on each month that you're paying that lender, which is anywhere from $100, $200, depending on what your loan amount is and things of that sort. So as we've seen appreciation increase the last couple of years, maybe not so much this year, but if you kind of haven't been paying attention, but paying attention to the market, and then also like, oh my gosh, the market's gone up. Give me a holler. I'm happy to take a look at, because if you've got up above that 20%, even though you've just been paying the same principal on your mortgage payment, that appreciation of what the house is worth, you may be able to contact your lender. They may require an appraisal. But for just, to pay the appraiser, $500, $600, if you're saving $100 a month in 5 months, you're breaking even, and obviously moving forward. So we're also seeing, obviously, as inflation and thinking cost of goods, and Russ and I were talking that in the next month or so, you're probably going to get your tax bill for your property tax, and your monthly payment may go up that $100, or something to that sort. You may obviously offset it with that, taking a look at what you got on your equity and your private mortgage insurance. So that's just something we want to take a look at, take care of. We're not always just working with our buyers and our sellers. We want to take care of everyone that we've worked with in the past and be your real estate resource, throughout your entire, life, essentially, from anything that you need from a real estate standpoint, whether it's real estate investing, with the equity in your house or updates or things of that. We have our resources that we can help you out. So take a look at that. If you have questions, feel free to give me a holler. My number's right down here. There it is. 672-7670, or shoot me an email. Happy to help you out. And just do a quick market analysis, and I can kind of get a good idea. And so yes, I know I had a client that I talked to, it was a year or 2 years ago. And I was like, hey, maybe after spring market, when the market kind of goes up, we can, you can relook at that. And just hopefully give you that information so as you go forward. So let's jump in and see what the real estate market's done over the last week. And we've been fairly active. So let's get the street view. So over the last 7 days, in the Omaha and Lincoln MLS, we've had 683 new listings go live. So last week we had 487. So we have almost 200 more listings that went live on the market this last week. So I ran these numbers a little later in the day. So might be such a difference, because usually I'm running them in the morning, but I was herding cats with those kindergartners out there, this morning. So I didn't have a chance to run the numbers earlier. So obviously you had a whole, extra couple hours of new listings that have popped in, today and things of that sort. So, so see a good chunk of listings coming up, which is, pretty normal for this time of year. New contracts written, we were at 279 last week, about up another 100. So even though we saw another 200 come on the market, we had another extra 100 basically go off the market, kind of almost a one in, one out scenario that we've seen probably the last couple of years. We've had 411 happy new homeowners over the last week. So congratulations to them. So, we're still seeing that market, still seeing a very healthy market, I think. Yes, we're still in a seller's market a little bit when you kind of look at our 30, I'll click over on our 30,000 foot view graphic here. So this months of inventory, typically what that means on the month of inventory, if it's 0 to 3, we're in a seller's market, 3 to 6, neutral market. And if we're, 6 or above, we're kind of tearing towards that buyer's market aspect of it. So we're still kind of in that almost neutral market, which, Russ and I were talking, we're still seeing from a mortgage side of it, contracts he's seeing coming in. We're seeing some seller pay buyer's closing costs. We're seeing some offers come a little bit below, some of those ones that are, updated and a couple multiple offers on those type of homes. I still think it's a great time. Buyers and sellers, basically it's kind of I think we're almost getting to that healthy market, because we're not seeing as many buyers in that buyer pool right now with the interest rates up a little bit. But still, there's still great homes to be had. And I think, if and when interest rates come back down, you're going to see, obviously we've said this for weeks on end, you're going to see a larger buyer pool. And typically you see that more in the spring, just historically, So if you can lock in a house now and you got sellers that, that need to sell, over the winter, everyone's buying, and selling all the time. So it's just something you can take a look at, to get into a house, rather than, getting, I'm going to wait till spring. If you're waiting till spring, so is everybody else. So, just maybe keep your eyes out there, talk to one of us here at Chambers Real Estate Team, and we can kind of maybe know things that are coming on the market. I have a couple, kind of in my back pocket that I know that are coming up. That maybe if those sellers are like, hey, you want to get a good fair price of what the market's doing, and then that way you can lock yourself in a house before we get into spring. So anyways, I guess we'll jump in here with Russ Williams with Williams Mortgage. So he jumps on with us pretty much every week when he's not in the great city of Detroit, doing his education and learning more about the mortgage industry. So Russ, you're on mute. Just make sure you unmute yourself. But anyways, how things going in the mortgage industry?
As you mentioned, Mark, even though the interest rates are elevated from what we'd like to see them, we're still seeing a lot of activity. I think people are adjusting to rates being up a little bit. And so if you're thinking about getting out there and beating the spring market, this is a great time to buy a house. There's some good inventory, as Mark just showed out there, and buy it at today's price versus next year's price. Keep in mind, if interest rates drop next year, that's going to pull a lot of people off of the sidelines. And so it's important that you buy before all those folks come off the sidelines, because the more buyers that there are, the more upward pressure that may put on pricing. Mark mentioned I've been kind of hit and miss here on being on these meetings. There's lots of new products coming out in the lending world, not the least of which effective today. If you're looking at buying a 2, 3, or even 4 unit in property that you want to live in, but also rent the other units out, be an owner-occupied investor, so to speak, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have opened up low down payment on those now. So you can buy those, I believe, with 5% down payment, which was only available with FHA before. So that is a nice feature that we've seen open up, and I'll get details out for anybody who would like that. We also are seeing additional products and programs for folks wanting to get into investment property and actually buy the property in the name of their limited liability corporation or LLC. We're starting to see that open up a little bit. Fannie and Freddie aren't accepting it, but there are other options that are very competitive rate-wise and fee-wise. And so for those of you that would maybe like to look at diversifying a little bit, because of course we may be looking at some slowdown over the next several months here as the Fed is putting their foot on the throat of the economy to try to stop inflation. That likely will trickle across into the stock market. So if you're thinking you might want to maybe look at other avenues, talk with Mark and his team, or even let me know, because real estate investment can be very lucrative, and we'll show you how. That's kind of what we're seeing, Mark. But I understand that you've had some pumpkin contests.
Yeah. And then going back to your low down payments, the other end, what people call it as house hacking. They live in one side, rent the other. They're saving. They may not necessarily be cash flowing on that, but they're paying down their principal faster. Or if they want to keep paying their own payment, but that person's basically, somebody may be like, well, I'm not cash flowing on it. Well, if you were paying that full mortgage, that is your cash flow. Is you're not necessarily seeing that, dollar for dollar in there, but that's something that you look at in that investment. And we did see a ton of that. Like when I got my real estate license, well, I've been 15 years since 2008. We saw a lot of money leave the stock market and come into real estate when there was, obviously there's a lot of foreclosures that were in that time. I don't foresee us seeing a lot of foreclosures coming on the market at all, really, to be honest with you. But a lot of those people coming out of the stock market, when it gets kind of, uneasiness, they're going to put it in something that's tried and true, that's going to get some of that return and, have some of that cash flow potentially in those real estate investments.
Mark, depending upon the article you look at, Forbes reports that of all the millionaires out there, between 80 and 90% of them got there by leveraging real estate in some way, shape, or form. So especially those of you that are young, that are looking at buying your first home, don't rule out a multi-unit property where you live in one of the units, as Mark mentioned, and you rent the others out. This is a way for you to start your real estate empire, and parlay that into great things. So let Mark and his team know, or reach out to me, and we'll be happy to get you information on it.
Yeah, I mean, you buy that, say a duplex, you rent out one and live in the other, you build that up for the next couple of years, you pull out that equity that they've helped build you up, and then you can go buy your primary residence and use yourself as the bank to go buy that next house, and it's just kind of stair stepping. So those are things I love talking about. Obviously, we try to keep these videos short, but yes, Russ did mention we just got done. We had our I think it's our 8th annual which bucket our pumpkin carving contest here. So I'll show, I just kind of want to show everyone what we had. Oh, they were on live on there. So yeah, this is what we had for our pumpkin carving contest. Let me go on. It's our album here. Where is it at? There we go. Got it already ready to rock. But yeah, so this is kind of the pumpkins that we have. We have some good ones. Here's Jace on his that he carved. I had a little help from help from the adult side of it. But yeah, we got a Husker one that's from Bobby O'Brien there. Another pirate. This is from Declan Walker, one of my friends. This one's funny here. I don't know if you see this. This is they try to do the baby in the pumpkin. And they submitted that like this is the best we got. That was pretty funny. So this is from a lot of our clients and our friends and things of that sort. So there's some good ones in here. So there's another baby in the pumpkin. We didn't put our baby in a pumpkin. So Heather did this one of Camden. So with the Oriole thing on there. So we painted ours, and Avery and Olivia, my 2 daughters, basically bedazzled. For those that are, maybe I'm dating myself. I don't even know if they have bedazzle, but they bedazzled their pumpkins there. So we had the Salzer family give us 5 there. So we always have a great time. I don't know, somebody, Nielsen's here. Their son Jake did the Buffalo Bills. So I guess someone should have done a Chiefs one, I guess. But anyways, that's an awesome Buffalo. So, but yeah, so we do this every year. Obviously, it's our 8th year, so we'll be doing it again next year. We haven't picked winners yet because I just, I got them all collected, and I literally just uploaded them right here before we got on live here. And so it's our friend Amelia did their pumpkin, and her sons did this on the back side. So this is the same pumpkin, just flipped on the other side here. But yeah, awesome. So yeah, if you ever anybody listening want to submit next year, and this is obviously our Champions Real Estate Team Facebook page. So obviously you can jump on here. We always have a lot of different information that pops up. Obviously you'll find us on our videos here as we're talking, through that. So there's a lot of different, our graphics. So if you miss it on the video, we have them here every week. So, but yeah, so I appreciate everyone. They carved the pumpkins, did an awesome job. It's a lot of fun watching the kiddos doing that. And I get, people look forward to it and that stuff. So, but anyways, that's kind of all I had for today, unless you have anything else for us.
Make it a great week. Try to stay warm, and it's soup season, folks. Make some chili, some stew, potato soup. It's a good season for it.
Yeah, there you go.
Go Chiefs.
So, yeah, happy November, right? So we got 1st of November. So anyways, everyone take care. If you have any questions, love to help you. And that private mortgage insurance, if you're thinking your valuations, you bought the house in the last couple of years, even if you put 10% down, you might have 10% that you've got in equity over the last couple of years. So take a look at even some of those 5%ers, things of that sort. So, but anyways, take care.